Right, so I want to go over how you can make money with Rank and Rent. And I have a whole story to tell you, which is super interesting with receipts of money. But quick thing, what is Rank and Rent? Essentially, Rank and Rent is the process of ranking your own site, that's your own website, right, on the at least top 3 positions of Google, right? Let's say you're up here. And then when people search for some keyword on Google, right, whatever it is, let's say plastic surgeons or plastic surgery, because you want to go for high-end niches, and I'll explain why in just a second here. Let's say they search for rhinoplasty in city, right? And I just ran out of internet, not sure why, but let's say they search for that on the internet, right? And your site comes up, and so people click the first link, they go to your site, and the catch here is that anything you show on your site, right, the phone number, the contact form, anything, it leads people to the actual business, right? And what this business is doing, let's say the phone number here, when they call it, they're redirected to their business phone. And I'll tell you exactly how you can track the calls and track everything. The emails, right, when they send an email to your site's contact form, it goes to the business. And what's happening here is that the business is paying you for you to have their contact information on your site that's ranking first, right? So it's rank and rent, because you rank your site first, and then you rent that real estate on your site to other businesses. And the good thing about this is that if you were to just take the business site, right, their business site, and rank it first, what could happen after like 6 months, 12 months is they tell you, listen, we're first already, we don't need your services anymore, goodbye, right? And you had all this work, you invested all this time, this money to rank their site first, and then once they're first, they just dropped you. Now, the good thing about ranking your own site is that you own the asset. And if you own the asset, if these guys decide to drop you, right, you can just go out and call every single plastic surgeon in your zone and rent your site again to them. It's super, super valuable, the rank and rent method. And there's 2 ways you can do this. You can just put the business where that's renting out your site to you can put that information here, or you can essentially just overlay their business site on top of yours by using a plugin like this, which essentially you overlay their site on top of yours, right? Literally a cloak. And I'm not trying to sell you this, but if you want to do that, you can do it with this. It's $50. It's super cheap. And there's also a video down here explaining how it works. But yeah, that's the power of Rank and Rent. That's how it works. Again, you take your own site, your own asset, you rank it first, and then you do this. You call every business in your area saying, listen, my site is ranking first for all these keywords. I'm getting a ton of calls, a ton of interest in this specific service. I have nowhere to send them. Do you want me to send them to you? And they're going to say yes, because it is essentially a refusable offer. And I'm telling you this because I did it, and here's the story. So one of my clients, a Portuguese plastic surgery clinic, and the reason why I go for plastic surgery clinics is because it's super high, right? A clinic, a surgery is 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 euros. And if the surgery goes well, that person over the lifetime of their being as a client, they spend more and more. And I'll go over that in just a second here. But again, one of a client of mine, the Portuguese plastic surgery clinic, made over $30,000 in extra revenue in just 2019 alone, right? So I ranked the clinic site, my own site, that's a mistake, for terms related with plastic surgery in the city of Lisbon. That's the capital of Portugal, like rhinoplasty Lisbon, rhinoplasty in Lisbon, rhinoplasty Lisbon prices, breast augmentation in Lisbon, breast reduction in Lisbon, so all these keywords related to plastic surgery, all targeting the capital city of Portugal, which is the city that has the most traffic, more people, right? Again, the average price of these procedures ranges from $2,500 to $5,000. And by the doctor's recommendation, some patients end up doing a combination of surgeries to achieve the results they're looking for, right? This only happens in this beauty niche. Now, quick note, a patient that likes how the surgery turns out is a patient for life, right? If he or she is not just going to spend 3 to 5K, he will spend much more, and in turn, generating more revenue to the clinic. So the average lifetime of a patient in this clinic in specific was 10 to 15,000 euros. So you can imagine if you go out there and do a rhinoplasty and it all goes well, most likely you're not going to go out and find a new clinic, right? Because you already trust the doctor that did your nose. So if you want to augment your breasts, you'd go to the same doctor, right? So it makes sense. It is a trust-based industry. So again, the lifetime value of each lead is super, super high. Also, we had previously agreed that the clinic would pay me a percentage basis from the values of the surgeries made. I'm telling you this because below there will be actual legal reports with the commissions from payments from surgery. So with Rank and Rent, you can essentially just rank your site first and then rent out the page for a monthly rate, right? So rent it out every single month for a monthly rate. Or you can just, for example, charge them for each call they get, or you can charge them for each conversion. So they get a call or they get an email, and for each person that converts, you get a cut. Now, if you want to know how to track conversions or do all this, I have in-depth videos on this channel showing exactly how I do it, from emails to calls to all the funnels. So I won't go over that in here. But if you don't know how to track this and how I do it, just go on this channel and search Rank and Rent. Now, going back to the story, let's say the average surgery costs around 3,500 euros. There was about 9 surgeries that year. Having the website ranked number 1 for several plastic surgery related keywords, that's how I got them tons of qualified leads, hundreds of people actually going to the clinic, and about 9 people to go forward with doing the surgery. And this is exactly how I generated over 30,000 euros in extra revenue to that plastic surgery clinic in Portugal. Simple, right? Yes, very simple. Not easy, but it's simple, right? And that's 30K for that year, right? Because again, those 9 people most likely will be coming back. Now, here's proof, by the way. So again, these numbers might seem small, but you have to keep in mind that this is passive income. Once the sites are ranked, I don't touch them, right? Once this site is ranked on top for all these keywords, I just overlay their site on top of mine. I just put in here that contact information. It's done, right? Again, if you have 7 clients, which is not a lot, all paying you $600 or more a month, that's $50,000 in passive income. It's pretty cool. And yeah, this is only one success story. The company below generated over 40,000 euros in extra revenue per year, all thanks to SEO. I have several other clients. One of them is the plumbing industry, and they do drainage to be exact. And I bring them leads every month. So our site ranks number 1 for both the maps and organic for extremely competitive keywords in the plumbing niche. And essentially the same thing, right? I rank my own site for the plumbing niche, and then in this case, I don't have their site overlaid on top of mine. I have my own branding, but then the calls my site gets get redirected to their phones, and they pay me a commission every single month. And so this is a commission for, I don't know what this is. Company pays me 20% commission. So if you do the math, that times 100, so by 20 times 12, that's $40,000 every single year. Almost $40,000 per year in extra revenue. That's very typical, by the way. And here are a bunch more. I mean, I'm just showing you this so you can see that I'm not lying to you, because this actually works. This is how I made money and how I make money with Rank and Rent. Essentially, again, you take, and I'm going to expand my face real quick here. You get a site, right? Your own site, you buy your own domain, you do all the SEO efforts on that site, on that brand, you rank it first for multiple terms. And once you're ranked up there, it's a no-brainer. You call every single business in your area and say, listen, I have this site ranking number 1. I get all these calls, because reality is if you're ranking for these terms, you're going to start getting calls, you're going to start getting leads, emails, all this, right? And you don't own any of these businesses. You don't own a plumbing company. You don't own a plastic surgery company. You're not a dentist, so you have nowhere to send these leads to. So just tell them, listen, I have this ranking first. I have all these leads. Do you want them? And they're going to say yes. And then once they do, either you meet with them in person or not, and you can do 3 things. First is essentially telling them, listen, I'm going to overlay your site on top of mine, right? Listen, just literally an overlay. You can do this with the plugin that I just showed you before, and charge them $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, depending on the niche, just for them to be rented and rent the space of the real estate on your site, literally overlaid. Second thing is you can just, on your own site, put their phone number and the contact form redirecting to them, and you track the leads. Again, I have videos on this channel on how to track the leads, and they pay you per lead. Third thing is essentially paying per lead that converts, which is harder to track, but you can do it. That's essentially it, right? That's how you can do it. That's how I've done it. And if you want to do it, easy way to do it is with this plugin. But if you don't want to use it, no worries. But that's it. That's how I made money with Rank and Rent. It is a pretty simple concept, right? It's not easy, but it's quite simple. So let me know what you think, and subscribe, and more videos like this to come in the near future. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.